we know how to get the lights back on. We always have been good at that. But as time progressed, even just in the first few days, it was evident that would be just a piece of what we were going to have to do to recover from that kind of a storm. It was devastation like nothing we had ever experienced. Driving down that little bit of I-10 at that time over all the down lines, and it was overwhelming. Seeing the casino barges was just unbelievable. It was amazing to me how, despite all the personal tragedy that so many employees had, they were immediately getting themselves magically somehow through all the devastation to get back to work. So it was out of necessity, and it was successful because our employees made it successful. As our employees always do, they just stepped up to do what needed to be done. So linemen, electric servicemen, customer servicemen, as well as engineers began to be the team leads, the supervisors, and not the actual workers. And that worked so well that, as you know, we have continued that strategy in our storm planning subsequent to Katrina.
Destruction that I just never even imagined. The 5 generating units that sit in the basement at Plant Watson, when the floodwaters came in, the entire basement was full. It was 20 feet of water, 16 million gallons of salt water that had intruded that basement. One of my first memories was the day after, the number of employees that came to work that lost everything. All they had was the clothes on their back. I also remember the magnitude of work that had to be accomplished. We've had our opportunities in the Northern Division just this past year. We've had multiple storm events, and I see the dedication of our employees drop whatever they're doing, pick up their storm roll, and jump in to help. And so that gives me confidence in the future that if we ever have a storm of the magnitude of Katrina again, we will be able to respond and we'll be able to serve our customers and our communities.
Unfortunately, Katrina was a larger hurricane than we had planned for, and so we had to adapt our plan to Katrina. And as you know, we brought a lot of people down to Mississippi to help us get the lights back on. I think by day 3, we already had 6,000 people working in our service territory. By day 9, that was up to 12,000 people. So we had resources scheduled to come in, but those resource numbers, of course, were ramped up over the days after the storm actually hit ground. And so from a logistics standpoint, we had to respond to those numbers with 3 meals a day, a bed to sleep in, and the other parts of logistics that you have to do after a storm. Camille was in 1969. So at the time of Katrina, we weren't thinking in those type of terms. We weren't thinking in putting people in tents. We weren't thinking about putting people in trailers. All the equipment that you have to bring in to feed those people, the need for laundry for 12,000 people, those kind of things. It set a whole new precedent for how we went about thinking about logistics and planning for storm logistics.
So the lessons learned from Katrina have certainly become a baseline part of our planning today. We understand customers' expectation restoration have shifted, and so for our team, we spent a lot of time in planning, partnering with organizations throughout our service territory to secure lodging, secure catering, and equipment storage. Doing any restoration or any weather event, we know how important it is for our guys to focus on restoring power safely, so we want to make sure we're doing everything from a logistical standpoint to support them.
Thinking back on it, I'm so proud of Mississippi Power Company and the work that we did following Hurricane Katrina for our customers and our communities. Just a big thank you for thousands of employees, retirees, and partners from all across North America who came together to achieve great results. And just know that all of the lessons learned from that event 15 years ago today, we're applying today. And I believe we are a better company now than then. So if another storm comes calling, we're going to be ready.